Alright, so we're doing homework questions from the night before. What number?
28, and there's one more.
I have several on there.
That was 1 through 31.
Odds?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
I thought it said trips. I wrote down trips. I'm stupid.
27.
That's why it was so short. I'm
It was so short.
No, I did say odds. I just read trips. You're so stupid.
How was my dad last night? I didn't see him.
He's awesome. Yeah.
Okay, so f of x equals 2 to the negative x. I said not to use parametric graphing and then to graph f and f inverse. So, I'm going to rewrite this. Kaylin, welcome to class, Kaylin.
How are you? Reason for being late today?
He's not late.
Kaylin, we're going through some homework questions right now, okay?
Where's everyone else?
We're just special today.
Okay.
But you are being recorded, so just so you know. Alright, so I'm going to rewrite this. A negative exponent is the same as taking a reciprocal. So this is the same as what? The reciprocal of that. Okay. Alright. So, ooh, I can see the issue with this, but I think I'm going to graph the inverse, and then I'm going to talk about how properties of logs you can do it. Was it finding the inverse that was an issue for you?
All of it.
All of it. Okay. So 1/2 to the x is going to be growth or decay? Decay. Okay. So if I put 0 in, when you put a 0 power in, it's always 1. And if I put -1 in, okay, so I have 1/2 to the 0 is 1. So I graph the point 0, 1. If I put 1/2 to the -1 power in, that means take the reciprocal or flip it, so that would be 2. So I'm going to graph the point -1, 2. And then if I had 1/2 to the first, it would be 1/2, correct? Okay. So this is going to look something like that, and I'm going to label these points because I can use them to graph the inverse.
Really?
It moved by itself.
Alright, so the inverse should go over the line y equals x. We talked about that yesterday, so I'm going to just draw that line, and I think you were asked to on the homework too, right?
Yeah.
And then let's plot the other, the reverse of those points. So -1, 2, if I reversed it, would be 2, -1. 0, 1 would go to 1, 0. And 1/2 would go to 1/2, 1. So it looks like, right?
Yep.
Really? Question? What is the
Okay.
life of x go by through or interval?
Okay. So it has a vertical asymptote. I'm trying to figure out what this equation would be. It's some kind of a logarithm, but it's also going to be flipped around, right? So according, let's see here. I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to try to find the inverse now. Remember, I'm doing this on the fly, so when I do things on the fly, I may make mistakes. Okay. All right. So this is the function we started with. I'm going to try that because I don't like that fraction there, and if I fail at this, then I'll go back and. This is that function. To do the inverse, do you remember what we do first? Inverse is the reverse of the coordinates. Let's flip the x and y's around. So this would be x equals 2 to the -y. So you could do that, but what I'm thinking is I'm just thinking about logarithms, and the inverse of a 2 to the x should be a log base 2, right? So I'm trying to figure out exactly how that's going to look. How do I rewrite things in exponential form?
You really didn't like him.
We're not talking, we're recording right now. Okay. If looks could kill, right? That probably wasn't a very nice look. I'm sorry.
You said that on recording.
I already
Were you recording?
used my patience up last year.
And
Okay.
the kid we had in the class.
Alright, so I want to rewrite this as logarithms. Okay, so I'm just thinking out loud here, and if it was 2 to the x equals y, the inverse would be y equals log base 2 of x. So, I guess it should be log base 2 of negative x. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Okay. Remember from this, so this is going to be what the inverse is, and I guess that kind of makes sense with what I got there. If...
How would you put that in the calculator?
Well, you can't,
I can.
but except you can use change of base. You just kind of got to graph it,
I forgot.
and that's why we did the graph using the inverse. But do you guys remember last year how if you put a negative in front, it was a reflection over the x-axis, and then if you did this, it was reflection over the y. What did the back say?
It doesn't say the answer. There should be graph.
Yeah, it's just.
Does it say what the inverse is?
We got the drawing right.
Well, let's say you were stuck here. Let's do a log base 2. Well, I mean, let's take the log of both sides here. I can do any base I want. I'm going to do a base 2 so I can get the 2's to cancel. So I'm going to take the log base 2 of x. I'm going to take the log base 2 of this side, and then that makes this, it brings the power down, right?
Right in the front of it.
Okay. Do you guys see what I just did? I can take the log of both sides. And then here I have log base 2 of 2 is 2 to what power gives you 2?
1.
1. So this is not,
Why?
so then this is negative y equals log base 2 of x, but that's not what I had here.
It'd be negative, it'd be negative log 2x. It'd be in the front of that.
Yeah, instead of there.
Is that right?
Algebraically, it looks right, but this would be a reflection over the x-axis. And that doesn't look right to me, because then I'd be at the point -1, -2, right?
But that's not a reflection of the y-axis.
No, it's y equals x. I kind of have a feeling that it's, I don't know.
I think it's down. What's, are you looking for like the inverse?
I want to know what the equation is. I have the graph of the inverse. You can always do a graph of the inverse by doing the original and flipping points around.
Well, that bottom one works.
This bottom one gives you this graph.
Yeah.
So this is the correct answer. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I don't get what you were saying about the x reflecting over the x and y-axis thing.
I'm just, oh yeah, you're right, Brett, because I'm having a little blonde moment right now. This is the log graph reflected over the axis, not that graph. Last year, you want to come up and get it?
I'll give it to him.
I'm joking.
That's so mean.
I know it is. Should
That's a
have.
recording too.
Okay, 27. It is.
What flavor?
Any others?
Good flavor.
Grape's good. I like it.
Joe, Kaylin, any others? You guys are so quiet. You didn't have any you wanted me to do?
I don't know.
No?
Did you do like one of the 13 through 23? Like one of the ones that had to find the inverse and then...
I had a question on 10, but we didn't have to do 10.
You play practical games.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do.
Please.